Lando, great win,
They're done.
great strategy. You've missed the press conference, but listen, was the move on Antonelli, the way you chose your moment, was that reflective of you driving as a world champion? As I know you feel you've driven so well this year.
First of all, thank you. That's your decision to make. I'm certainly not going to go around telling people that, but I drive to the best I can. I know I have to make good decisions at times. Today was certainly a day I made a lot of good decisions, from strategy, tire saving, picking my moments, knowing when to push, when to save. There's a lot that goes on in the cockpit of a race car. It's not just push flat out every single lap to the maximum. So this was certainly my winning move, the winning moment in the race. I'm not sure if I would have won if I didn't get ahead of Kimi here. So yeah, my one opportunity, I made the most of it, and I won the race because of that. So I think I maximized my race today. I made the most of it. I certainly made my life tough today with a bad start, and we need to understand what happened. But we did the job we came in to do, which is to win. So I'm very pleased.
Lando Norris has just dropped a bombshell after sealing both pole position and the race win at the Dutch Grand Prix, and this time he's not holding back on Kimi Antonelli and Mercedes. The turning point of the entire race came down to one single move. Norris overtook Antonelli to snatch the position that would ultimately hand him the win. And he's since admitted that without pulling off that exact move, he might not have won the race at all. Once he got past, neither Antonelli nor the Mercedes drivers had any real chance of catching him back. McLaren simply had more raw speed on the day than Mercedes could match.
We're doing everything we can. I can only ask for so much. I clearly have a very, very strong car now, and it's been amazing, and I'm very pleased and happy for the team to see how much progress we've made. We've improved over a second comparing to the beginning of the year, comparing to our competitors. We've probably brought even more performance to ourselves this year. So I'm very happy with the car. If you want me to be confident, and if you want me to say, yeah, I can still fight for a championship, I need more than what I have now.
But Norris says the win wasn't just about outright pace. He revealed it came down to a string of smart calls in the cockpit, managing his tires, knowing exactly when to push and when to hold back, and picking his one moment to strike. Yet even with a dominant win, Norris isn't getting carried away. Sitting 83 points behind in the championship, he was refreshingly honest when asked if he could still fight for the title. He admitted the car has taken a massive step forward. McLaren has gained over a second on their rivals this season, but confessed that to truly believe he's back in title contention, he needs more than what he currently has. So what exactly did Norris say about Mercedes, and just how big a gap is McLaren really erasing? Let's break it all down. Norris was blunt about how the race actually turned. He admitted he made his life difficult from the start with a poor getaway, and said the team needs to properly understand what went wrong there before the next round. But once he found his opening on Antonelli, everything changed. He was clear that this wasn't a case of simply having the fastest car and cruising to the checkered flag. It was one calculated opportunity, seized at exactly the right moment, and nothing was guaranteed until he made it stick. In his own words, he said he wasn't sure he would have won the race at all if he hadn't gotten past Antonelli when he did. That's a significant admission. It means the entire result, the pole, the win, the points swing in the championship, hinged on a single overtaking window that Norris and McLaren executed to perfection under real pressure. He called it the defining moment of the race and said he made the most of the one real chance he was given. That mentality, treating every lap as if the race could slip away in an instant, is exactly what separates a driver simply riding a fast car from one actively shaping a championship battle. What's interesting is how Norris framed the victory afterward. Rather than crediting brute pace alone, he broke down the mental side of a modern Formula One race weekend. Tire saving, choosing when to attack, choosing when to conserve, and reading the race as it unfolded around him. He was adamant that a Grand Prix isn't won by simply flooring it every single lap from lights to flag. There's constant calculation happening inside the cockpit, and he credited today's win specifically to nailing those decisions across the full race distance, not just the headline overtake everyone will remember. That kind of composure matters heading into the final stretch of the season, especially with an 83-point gap still separating him from Antonelli in the standings. It suggests Norris isn't just fast right now, he's driving with the discipline of someone building a genuine title case, race by race, decision by decision. He was also candid that the poor start still cost him time and margin, a reminder that even a dominant weekend on paper had rough edges the team will need to address before Monza. Here's where things get really telling. When asked directly whether he could keep applying pressure and make the closing races of the season genuinely interesting, Norris didn't puff up his chances or play to the crowd. He said the team is doing everything it possibly can, but that he can only ask for so much from the car as it currently stands, a notably measured response for someone who just delivered back-to-back results. He did acknowledge McLaren has made serious strides, over a second's worth of performance gained compared to competitors since the start of the year, which is an enormous swing in Formula One terms. He said he's genuinely pleased with how far the car has come and proud of the progress the whole team has made behind the scenes. But when pushed on whether he's confident enough to say outright that he can still fight for the championship, he was clear. He needs more than what he currently has in the car to make that claim with real conviction. Not just optimism, it's a rare moment of restraint from a driver who just won back-to-back races and closed a gap that looked almost insurmountable only a few weekends ago. Norris made a point of saying there's still a lot of work ahead, and that this remains a long season, not a moment to relax, even after a statement win like this one. He confirmed he'll be relaying that message directly to the team in the debrief. Antonelli, for his part, wasn't making excuses. He said that once Norris got by, there was no realistic chance of reeling him back in over the remaining laps. He also mentioned something felt slightly off with the car in the closing stages, a lot of sliding that the team initially waved off as normal, though he said it would be properly checked after the race to rule anything out. Still, he called it a shame to see the win slip away after the car had felt genuinely strong for most of the weekend, describing the missed victory as painful given how competitive the pace had looked earlier on. Behind him, George Russell picked up third after a messy finish involving a virtual safety car that shuffled positions late on. Russell was candid that Mercedes simply didn't have the pace to match McLaren this weekend, especially praising Norris's drive and Ferrari's competitiveness, while still taking the positives from a 1-2 on Saturday and a podium on race day overall. Lewis Hamilton, meanwhile, showed some of his strongest pace of the season for Ferrari, only to be held up behind teammate Charles Leclerc late in the race, a moment he admitted afterward was costly and frustrating, and potentially the difference between a podium and missing out entirely. All of this sets up a fascinating next round. Antonelli is facing a grid penalty at Monza for an engine change, opening a door for Norris to genuinely close the championship gap before the season enters its final stretch. But Norris was careful not to overpromise. He said the team is doing everything possible, though ultimately he can only ask for so much given where the car currently stands relative to its rivals. For Mercedes, Monza carries its own weight regardless of the penalty. Antonelli called it a special weekend regardless of what happens on the grid, saying he's still looking forward to the atmosphere and sees a genuine opportunity to bring home solid points despite starting further back than he would like. So there it is, Norris delivering a big win, a bigger statement, and still refusing to get ahead of himself about the title fight. McLaren's gains are real, the pressure on Mercedes is mounting, and with Antonelli's Monza penalty already locked in, the next race could prove pivotal for this championship battle. Do you think Norris can actually close an 83-point gap before the season ends, or is it already too late? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Formula One news, race analysis, and championship breakdowns all season long. We'll see you in the next one.